Everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing an unboxing and review of the Bayonetta Bloody Fate box from GameStop. It is a mystery box, they call it, but I looked it up to see exactly what was in here because I couldn't help it. I was like, I need to know what's in here before I spend 40 bucks on it. But if you don't know what's in here, we're going to jump into it. Obviously, we don't get a lot of Bayonetta merch. I mean, this is not official Bayonetta merch. These two beautiful things are. I cannot wait for Bayonetta 3 to have an amiibo. I hope they put one in there just to have more Bayonetta merch. Also, today is the day. I don't know if I'm gonna end up posting this the day of, but today it was finally announced Bayonetta 3 is coming out on October 28th, which is fantastic, except for it's the day right before my daughter's birthday. So I might take off work. Honestly, I might take off work. I don't know what's gonna happen about that, but it's Bayonetta and we've been waiting a long time. Whoops, not used to doing this. But first off, we have Cheshire. Nice, decent sized plush. There you go. It is the Cheshire Cat, of course, the plush here. I'll check this out, see if it says anything very special. It does not, it just says collectible plush, only at GameStop. I'm very surprised that this is a GameStop exclusive. I would assume that something about this simply has to do with the fact that Funko does a lot of stuff with GameStop. So I don't know, maybe that's why it ends up being exclusive. Of course, excuse me, the fact that it's based on Bloody Fate and not the actual games, I think is the only reason we have it, because it's not strictly tied to Nintendo being able to put it out themselves. So it's like, hey, somebody, whoever has like some sort of rights, which I believe is Gonzo based on this little thing back here, which I think is the animation studio. I guess they have some rights tied to it. So it's like, hey, we can actually have Bayonetta Funko Pops, which who would have thought? People want merch from Bayonetta. I don't know what Nintendo will be doing. I mean, they saved the effing franchise, so you know, like, thank you, but put out some effing merch. All we have are these freaking amiibos, and I'm like, it's Nintendo. They put out 8 trillion effing Mario things, but we can't have Bayonetta. Anyway, moving on to the next thing we have. Yeah, it totally says Gonzo like right up at the top. We have a keychain here, which I believe, try not to make it too loud, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. I believe this is just like, yeah, the piece on her chest, the sort of like moon pendant with the jewel in it. If I can actually get this stupid thing open. Here we go. Nice soft, let's see. It's got a little bit of give to it, but it's definitely plastic. It's it almost looks more like a stopwatch, which is interesting, but there you go. It's okay. I think it being one solid color kind of throws it off a little bit, because it almost just makes it look like it's, you know, because obviously I know it's meant to be like the piece that's on her chest, but with it being like just one solid color, like I almost wish that the rest of it was black so it actually looked like a moon. But when it's like literally even like the very top of this is all the same color, with it being that way, it's kind of just like, oh yeah, like it just kind of makes it look a little off. It doesn't feel like it's actually like a crescent moon around it. It kind of just feels like this thing is a little off center and then the whole thing is like the same color. It feels really odd to me that they wouldn't just make it black so that it really stands out as like, you know, here's the circular piece and then here's the crescent moon. So that's interesting to look at it. Obviously, I think the whole point, if I can even get a good look at this, so I think it's supposed to represent that technically it is her skin color, but once again, obviously black suit all the way around it. Throw that in there, but still cool. Wasn't the thing that I was really like losing my mind over anyway, so it, you know, it's fine. We're gonna get to the 4-piece here. So we have the guns. Also, another random thing, I'm very excited. If you did not know, first 4 figures, they do like limited edition figures of stuff. They have all of Bayonetta's guns coming out. I would look into that. If you are interested, you can still get them on sale. You can get a big set of them and whatnot, but I'm excited for that. I think I have like maybe a couple more months on my little payment plan, because they are expensive. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty expensive. But, and you know, like I only bought one because I was like, I would love to get all 4, but to get all 4, especially because they have the plain versions and then they have like electronic versions as well. And I was like, I would love to get all 4, but that's like, it was like over $2 grand or something. I was like, I can't justify it, even though they look amazing and I really want them. But I just ended up getting one, and I will let you guys know which one as we kind of go through these here. The last thing I want to do is like have this thing pop and then they just fly all over the place, but that's what it feels like is going to happen. There we go. So of course, going from left to right, I love that actually on here they have the different colors, which is actually really cool. So you can like read off the names there. So that's actually really cool. Once again, GameStop exclusive. But that's really cool. I actually like that. And they have not only the names, but like the actual the little quotes on them too. So going from, I guess we'll go red to green because that's the order that they're in. We have Sage, Ever Strong, which, let's see if they have it. Okay, I didn't think they would, but you know, I figured it was worth checking out. They do not have the actual names on the guns, which, like I said, that was the thing where I'm like, yeah, I assume that they wouldn't. Mine is unfortunately like a bit scratched up, which sucks. Hopefully it's not like that for all of them, but here you go. You can definitely see it there. So, hey, look down the barrel of the gun, if it'll focus on that. Yeah, there you go. So there's that. So we got a little scratch on that one. Then we have Rosemary, Ever Reminiscent. Okay, this one's definitely better. I mean, it's the same gun, it's just a different color. There you go. We have Rosemary. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. I read the wrong one. What did I read? Rosemary, and then we have blue here. So this is Rosemary. That, I believe, is supposed to be Time, Ever Courageous, which is kind of yellow on here. That's why it confused me, because they have the blue so incredibly bright on this. I thought it was white, which is what this is supposed to be, but I guess that's supposed to be yellow on there, because I'm pretty sure it's white. If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be a white jewel, which is what it looks like, but on here, that's not really how it comes off. Because this one's definitely green. So I guess that was Time, not Rosemary, because Rosemary is blue. Rosemary, which is also the first gun that Bayonetta actually picks up. Yeah, if it'll focus, there we go. There you go with that. So this is actually the first one that she picks up in the very first game when, you know, Rodan is like, hey, made you some new stuff. This is the first one that she touches, and that's actually the one I purchased, because when I looked into it, I was like, I'm either gonna get, you know, if I can only get one, I'm either gonna get the final bullet, or at the very least the lipstick gun, which I believe, I want to say that was Sage, if I'm not mistaken. That's where she fires the lipstick bullet, and I was like, I'm either gonna get that one or I'm gonna get the first one. And fortunately, the first one was blue, and I was like, thank goodness, because blue is my favorite color. And you know, that's on her feet, so you don't really see it as much. You typically see, like, I want to say it's red and green, if I'm not mistaken, are the two that you see the most because they're in her hands. So during cutscenes, that's what you see all the time. And I was like, it's cool, but I'm like, if I'm gonna get one, I kind of don't want to just get red and it's the same color. I want to have something that kind of pops. Unfortunately, Rosemary saved the day, because blue is technically the first one that she ever touches in the franchise. So I was like, blue it is. And then lastly, we have Parsley, Ever Joyous. And once again, same thing. Obviously, it's just the gun with a different little jewel in it. And these are nice. They're not heavy at all. I would assume that they are like resin, I would imagine. They also have the warning, this product may be mistaken for an actual firearm. I guess if you're going around and everybody is, you know, whipping out Derringer pistols, maybe. I guess so. But there you go. So we have her 4 guns. Decent quality, I would say. I do wish that they didn't all have like the licensing right on the side of every single gun. It's not that big of a deal, but it is kind of weird to me that they had to do that for every single one, to be like, hey, this is legally this product. I feel like that's not something that happens too often, and I could be wrong. Maybe that's on literally everything and I just don't notice it because it's not like literally in the corner of what is already a small thing, and it's like this little chunk of white text. But I do think they look nice, and I don't know what in the world I'm gonna do with them, because they definitely, like I said, if they are resin, it's definitely that thing where it's like, they're sweet, but I want to be very protective of them. But those are definitely cool. And then we have the important parts. So we're gonna go, yeah. So we got Jean, or Jean. I always say, you know, Jean, however you want to look at it. Bayonetta, Bloody Fate. It says collect them all, and there are 2. So we have 868 is Bayonetta, and then 869 is Jean, which is very cool. I'm probably gonna take them out. I take mine out. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it though. I don't know if I'll like leave her out and then save the box, or if I'll just leave her in the box. Honestly, I might even take this sticker off, because this isn't even the coolest sticker. Like, I feel like I have another GameStop exclusive. Their stickers are normally way cooler than this. Like, normally a lot of the exclusive ones are like gold and black, almost kind of matching the box a little. I feel like I've never seen GameStop just have like a red and white sticker, which I guess fits their color scheme, but it's like, yeah, that's not really an exclusive sticker where you're like, oh man, it's this exclusive. It's kind of just like, that really throws things off. It technically fits, especially considering the character herself, but I was like, that's just a really meh sticker, and it just feels like it feels like when it's just like a used sticker put on something. That's what that feels like to me. And it's just like, we'll see if that sticker stays on, despite it showing that it's exclusive. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm gonna be keeping the things no matter what. But of course, last and best, we have Bayonetta herself. Very nice. Not much to show off, obviously, with the box itself, but it's certainly cool. I mean, obviously, with it being based on the movie, I'll just take Bayonetta out. I always bend those up too. I don't know the trick to doing it, but I also don't care that much because I take my figures out. With it being based on the film, oh, thank goodness. Wow, somebody thought, for once, what if we put an effing stand, because they don't always stand up on their feet. So there you go, Bayonetta herself. And she has 3 of her guns visible, and one is just somewhere in the ether, I guess, and that's okay. So we're missing Everjoyous, if I'm not mistaken. Parsley, yes, we're missing Parsley, Everjoyous. Very cool though. I like the glasses, the actual little frames. I like the sort of walking motion, just as a slight comparison to the amiibo. You know? Big old head. So that's really cool. I definitely think that's great. And I love the fact that they actually put a stand on her so that you can just have her anywhere. You don't have to worry about it. She's good to go. She can stand up wherever you want her. So that's really cool. I'm definitely going to keep her on now, because most of them, you know, you get a Funko Pop and it's like, technically they can stand up, but it's so easy to knock them down. You shake a desk, your Funko Pops fall over, and it's like, all right, let me set them up again. She's got a stand. I'm maybe not on my actual table, because I'll definitely knock her over here, but I can actually put her somewhere and she'll just be there. And that's really cool. That's honestly I can't say it's my favorite part about it, because obviously I'm not buying the Funko based on the stand, but that's really cool. That's really cool. So then here we have all 4 guns with Jean, and her glasses are up. It'd be so cool if they made movable glasses, but I understand why they wouldn't. So here we go. Sadly, we have no amiibo of her, so no comparisons, unfortunately, but it is very cool to see her. It's also funny to see her with her Bayonetta 1 style, because it's been such a long time that she's had the long hair for such a long time. It's the same with Bayonetta, but you see a lot more of Bayonetta with her long hair, especially, you know, like her being in Smash Brothers and stuff. It was like, hey, here's Bayonetta, but you can have both versions. So we still see a lot of Bayonetta from Bayonetta 1, but when it comes to all the other characters, it's like you really only see them from the most recent thing. And obviously, you know, I love Jean, but I'm looking for Bayonetta if I'm looking for Bayonetta. So no offense, but it's like, hey, cool to see the short-haired version. That's really cool. I like the little tuft at the top. That's really neat. So there we go. So we got Bayonetta, we got Jean, she got her heels, she got her guns, we got Cheshire, which is very cool. I don't know if that'll even come in, but couple of beads at the bottom here. Least favorite thing, 100% is my least favorite thing, and it's only because they didn't just put an extra color. Like, I feel like that's literally it. Like, I understand, like I said, it's probably a representation of the fact that the moon is technically like her chest being exposed. So I'm like, sure, I get it, but just make the rest black or something. Like, just do something very specific with it. So that, I would say, is like the one thing, you know, just looking at, you know, any of the figures, it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. It's her skin, but you know, I mean, at the same time, her skin isn't gold either, because this is definitely gold in the games, and her skin, obviously, it's skin tone, it's not gold. So that's something else that they technically could have done. Like, even the moon could have just been a different shade. They could have literally just made it look like the moon. Like, it wouldn't matter to me if it was meant to represent like her skin color or something. If it was just a different color, that at least made sense. Obviously, if it was like a black moon, I'd be like, well, that doesn't even make sense. But to have something where it's like it represents the moon and kind of the, you know, the emblem itself, and it's more distinct, that would be nice. And there's like a slight variation. I don't know, with my lights being as crazy as they are, it probably won't even register, but let's see if it even focuses. There you go. You can kind of see it, just barely, with my messed up cuticles. You can just see it. There's like a slight difference in color, but once again, they really should have just put like a black ring around it to really make a difference with it, because like I said, it's literally the whole thing. Even like this little pointless spot where it makes it look like a stopwatch, the whole thing is the exact same color, and it's like they just made a circle and then put some squigglies on it. That's how it feels. Like, I know that it's the exact emblem, but when literally the whole thing is the one color, including the spot that would be a black handle or something, everything's the same color. It's like, if it's literally like the cheapest part about the whole thing, and it's very unfortunate. And you know, it's supposed to be a keyring, but it just doesn't look that cool, because like I said, with it being the same all the way around, it just makes the emblem look like it's just off center. And that's really it, to me at least. I mean, other people might feel differently, but that's the one thing where I'm just like, I wish they just put like a black ring, like even if the back was the same color, literally just a black ring to have like the moon be its own thing and like feel independent of literally the rest of this entire thing being the exact same color minus the black text on the back. Everything is the same, and so it just feels weird, and that I would say is literally my only gripe about this entire thing. I love everything else, the figures obviously being the best part. We get that out of here. Cheshire is nice. I don't know what I'm gonna do with Cheshire. It's one of those weird things where I'm like, I feel like I might leave the tag on. It's one of those weird things where I'm just like, sometimes I like leaving the tags on things just because I'm weird like that. Not even a collectible thing. It's just like, oh, it just, something about it just feels cooler sometimes when it has the tag on it. And then once it's gone, it's like, oh, it's gone forever. But if I have this little tag, it's like, it feels extra special to have like that little thing to remember it by. Like, oh, I got that from the GameStop box, because I'm tossing the box. Am I? Maybe not. Who knows what's gonna happen? The point is, Cheshire's pretty cool. It's a nice size. Fits in the palm of, well, you know. Boom, there's my hand. I got freaky monster hand, so there you go. It's morphin time. So there you go with that. But I like it. Like I said, the guns are pretty decent. They're a decent size. Once again, my freakish monster hands don't really do a great job when it comes to comparisons. But here's like my mouse, and then here's the guns. So there you go. If that helps a tiny bit as I move random stuff around and hopefully don't click out my video. But I like the guns. I think they have a decent weight to them for being, you know, they're just resin, so they're definitely light. But, you know, that's pretty much what I expected. Like the main thing is you have your two main ladies from the franchise, and they're definitely great. Having Cheshire is really cool, so you can just have a cool Stitch cat who may or may not be returning in some very significant ways in Bayonetta 3, which is super cool. But I definitely love the figures. I love the guns. I love Cheshire. Not a fan of this. It's the only thing where I'm just like, ugh. Every time I see it, I'm gonna be like, why didn't they just have a black outline, or at least make this more distinct? I feel like that's the thing, because you can definitely tell there's like I said, the slightest difference, but then it's like literally the whole thing is the slightest difference compared to the emblem. So that's the one thing I think they really skimped out on. Everything else, and I do hate the text being on the guns, but that's not nearly as big of a deal, because you can just boom, just other side, and then you're good. Well, maybe not this one, that's the scratched up one, but my other three are good. Unfortunately, this is the one that's like scratched up on the edge, and that really sucks. But it also looks like that might come off. I can't tell if it's scratched deep or if there's just something that was like in the drying process, it kind of stayed on, because it looks a little bit like cardboard. So I'll figure that out on my own time. But love the guns. It would have been insane. I didn't even expect it, honestly, because they're so small. But for anyone who doesn't know, the guns do say their name on them. I didn't know this until I bought like the replica, which I don't think I ever finished that. First 4 figures, you can buy the guns. But they have the names etched into every single gun, and like the ever joyous, ever reminiscent, that's etched into the gun as well. I never knew that until I was getting the replicas. I didn't expect that to be on here, because that would be insane. Like, they're so tiny, but they do say Scarborough Fair, and that's very cool. I would not expect them to put the etching into this. That would have been insane. That would have been like probably 3 extra points just for how ridiculously detailed it would have to be for them to even bother with that. But I definitely love this. I would love to know your thoughts on this. I hope we get more Bayonetta merch. That's all I can say. Like, Bayonetta is one of my favorite franchises, even though I didn't even know that the guns names were etched on them. It's still one of my favorites. I'm just like very surface level love, where I'm like, I'll play the crap out of something and recommend it. I might not deep dive. I might not buy like the art books and stuff like that, but you know, I'll play the crap out of it. I'll still support, because I've been playing this junk since 360. And man, I really don't want to play Bayonetta 1 again, but I might have to go through it for like the 15th time just to go through 1 and 2 before 3 comes out. But definitely love the games. Heck, I think I did but yeah, so at the end of this, I'll throw in my really old stream of Bayonetta 1 and 2, and I think I played through Bayonetta 1 twice on my channel, honestly, so I'll put one of those up. But I played through, so if you guys want to check out my experience with Bayonetta, you can definitely do that. Like I said, would love to know your thoughts on the franchise as a whole, but specifically this box here. What merch do you guys want to see? I mean, I would love figures. There is a company, it's once again unlicensed, like it's just other people doing it. I will put a link in the description if I can find it, but there is a company, I think it's called Very Cool, and they are doing a 1/6 scale figure of Bayonetta from Bayonetta 1. Hopefully it sells really well and comes out very soon, and they might end up doing Bayonetta 2 and eventually Bayonetta 3, and they might even do other characters from Bayonetta. I would love that. So we do have a 1/6 scale figure coming out from a third-party company, so definitely check that out. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description, but we'd love to know your thoughts on this. We finally have some Funkos of Bayonetta, so I can officially upgrade. Just barely, like just barely. I can officially upgrade from just having 2 amiibos and a totally unlicensed shirt to officially having some licensed Bayonetta stuff, which is really cool. Even though it's technically not from Nintendo, and they had to like slip it in being like, it's from the movie, but it's Bayonetta, and that's all that really matters. So thanks for checking this out. Like I said, please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite items, your least favorite items. What would you guys have switched around? Like, would you prefer larger guns? I don't think there's really much to switch around. Like, once you have the Funko Pops of the figures, there's not much to switch. I mean, I would love to have like a keychain where it was like all 4 of the guns, but that's also very risky. I guess if they were made of rubber, it would be cool because they wouldn't get destroyed as much. So that I think would actually have been pretty sweet if it was just like, or maybe all 4 of the guns do have little things that come off the end of them, and they're, once again, that's another thing that I never really paid attention to, because the guns are like this big when you're playing the actual game on the screen, but each gun has its own little keychain to it, and they all have different shapes and stuff at the end. So that would have been cool. That would definitely been pretty sweet if they had that, and like it was just all 4 of the little pendants that are hanging off the gun. I think I would have preferred that over this. That at the very least would have forced them to do a little bit extra work. Not to hate on this, but it's just the thing where I'm like, I have to hate on something, I'm gonna hate on this. And you can see, actually, from this angle, you can see the difference a little bit more with the yellow and mustard yellow. I guess that's what I'm gonna call it. You could kind of call it gold if you want, but it's the one thing. Cheshire's great. Figures are great. The guns are great. Although I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might leave them in the box just because I'm so scared that anything could happen, especially considering I have 2 kids. I'm like, they might stay in the box and just like look pretty on the shelf, and I'll be like, that's where they go, and I'm gonna get my replica and also put it up very high away from the kids when I get that as well. But thanks for checking this out, like I said. So please put your comments down in the comment section below, and of course, thanks for watching.